What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing well. Hey, we're jumping right in. We're going into the next section of solving systems of equations. We've done tables, we've done substitution. Now we're going to do elimination. And elimination is just where you try to eliminate one of the variables so you can solve for the other variable. All right? So, EQ, how can I solve systems of equations using elimination? Okay? This is lesson 3. And so here's number 1. Okay, you go ahead and write that down. 3x minus 2y equals 10. 7x plus 2y equals 30. So what we're going to do, first thing is we're going to line up, we're going to make sure that we can line up both of the equations so that the variables are lined up vertically. So right here we've lined it all up. We've got our x's, we've got our y's, we have our constants, okay? So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get the coefficients to either the x or the y to be opposites. Okay, so in this case, we've got a positive 2 and a negative 2. Okay, if it was this one, maybe we'd try to get a positive 3 and a negative 3, or, I mean, we'd have to multiply this to 21, I think. So we'd have to have like a positive 21 and a negative 21. But what you're going to do, I mean, if you have a positive 2 and a negative 2, you know, 2 minus 2 equals 0. That's what you're trying to do, is you're trying to eliminate it, get it to 0. So right here, what we're going to do is we're going to add these together as if it was an addition problem. Okay, this is going to be 3 plus 7x is 10x. This is going to be 0y, and this is going to be 40. 10 plus 30 equals 40. So now what we're going to do is just solve for x. So we've got divide by 10. Whatever you do to one side, you got to do to the other. X equals 4. So now we can choose either of these equations up top, plug 4 in, find y. So we'll just do the top one. 3 times 4, I put 4 in for x, minus 2y equals 10. Okay, so I took the whole equation on the top. The only thing that's different is instead of x, I put 4 in for x. Okay, so 12 minus 2y equals 10. So now I'm going to subtract the 12 from both sides of the equation. Okay, that goes away, so we got negative 2y equals negative 2. Okay, now I'm going to divide by negative 2 on both sides. Y equals positive 1. Okay, so my equation is 4, 1, xy. So I need to verify that. So the way I verify it is I'll just take both of these equations, I'll plug that in. Okay, so let's just do it real quick. We'll verify. We've got, let's see, 3 times 4 minus 2 times 1 equals 10. Okay, so that's 12 minus 2 equals 10. 10 equals 10. That's correct. Okay, so I just plugged 4 and 1 in for x and y. Solved it. It's verified. Okay, over here, do the same thing. We've got 7 times 4 plus 2 times 1 equals 30. Okay, 7 times 4 is 28. 2 times 1 is 2. 28 plus 2 is 30. 30 equals 30. Verified. So this is the solution to this system of equations, and we used the elimination method. So all right, everybody. So what we did was, the first one was pretty easy. We lined up the variables and the coefficients vertically, and the x's on the last one were already opposites. We had positive 2 and negative 2. So we could just easily eliminate that, and then we can solve. Okay, so that was simple. Excuse me, the y's. I think it was positive 2y, negative 2y. On this one, we don't have that. We have 10 and negative 4, and we have negative 6 and 3. We need those coefficients, okay, either for the x or the y to be opposites. So we're going to have to multiply one of these, or two, maybe if it's a little bit more difficult, to get to the point where we want to get to. And we're going to use distributive property to do that. But all we have to do is figure out, okay, which coefficient, okay, the coefficient, remember, is the number before the variable, okay, which coefficient do we want to multiply in order to get to that opposite coefficient? So this, we'd have to multiply this by 4 and this one by 10 maybe to get to 40 and negative 40. I mean, there's other options. We could go to 20. But that's, I mean, we have to multiply both of them. This one, okay, we got negative 6 and positive 3. What can we multiply by? We could just multiply this by 2, okay? That would get to a positive 6, and that would get to a negative 6. So we've isolated, we figured out which coefficient we're going to try to get to be the opposite, to be opposites. Okay, so negative 6 and positive 6. So that means we're going to have to multiply this entire equation by 2. So we multiply the entire equation by 2. So what we're going to do, we're just going to bring this over. We got 10x minus 6y equals 54. Now we're just going to use distributive property to multiply everything here. So 2 times negative 4 is negative 8x. Okay? 2 times positive 3y is positive 6y. And positive 2 times negative 48 is, I said it, negative 48. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to combine those columns, which just basically means add. We're going to add those two columns together, okay, to get what we're looking for. So this is going to go away first and well, we'll go 10 minus 8x, that's 2x. Okay? 6 and negative 6, gone. And then we've got 54 minus 48, which is 6. Simple. Now we're just a one-step equation, right? So we'll divide by 2. We got x equals 3. So you're probably thinking, what in the world just happened? Don't worry, here we go. I'll go back. We need to get the coefficient, okay, to be the opposite so that they cancel out, right? If you've got 5 and negative 5, they cancel out to equal 0. That's what we need to get to because we're trying to eliminate them. That's why the method's called elimination. So right here we got a negative 6. We can, if we add 3 to that, that's just going to be a negative 3. So we need this 3 to double to positive 3 in order to get that variable to be eliminated. So we multiplied it by 2. 3 times 2 is positive 6. So but you can't just multiply the 6 by the positive 3y by 2. You got to multiply the entire equation. Okay, so we multiplied the entire equation by 2. We just put it in parentheses, and we went here, 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 and we just multiplied all 3 of them. Okay, what we got here? You got 10 minus 8x is 2x. 10 minus 8 is 2. Negative 6 plus 6 is nothing. That's why there's nothing there. That's why we cancel it out. 54 minus 48 equals 6. So now what we have is 2x equals 6. Okay, that's simple. We just divide by 2, both sides. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. We've got our x coordinate point. Now, we're going to choose either of these, okay, and we were going to find our y coordinate. So let's just try the top one. Looks clean. So I'll go 10 times 3 minus 6 times y equals 54. Okay, so that's 30 minus 6y equals 54. Okay? So now we're going to subtract that 30. Get that out of there. Move it over to this side. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do the other side of the equation. That goes away. Negative 6y equals 24. Okay? So now we divide by negative 6y. Excuse me, just by negative 6. So y equals negative 4. 24 divided by 6 is 4. Positive divided by a negative is negative. So we get negative 4. So our solution, let's go with the red. We'll go 3, negative 4, x, y coordinate point. Okay? So now what we have to do is we have to verify it. All right? So let's verify it. We'll go 10 times 3 minus 6 times negative 4 equals 54. Okay, that's 30 plus 24 equals 54. What? Negative 6 times a negative 4, negative times a negative is a positive. So 54 equals 54. Yep. Now we'll take the second one. Negative 4 times 3 plus 3 times negative 4 equals negative 24. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. 3 times negative 4, negative 12. Negative 12 times minus 12 is negative 24. Done. Golden. So that is your solution. I know it's a lot of work, but we're getting there. I'm gonna do one more where we have to multiply both. Here we go, number 3. I'm really excited about this. I just love this stuff. So right now we've got -3 and 4. Okay, what's the number that just pops in your head? Like, okay, what do we have to get to? Normally you call that the least common multiple. Okay, you got 3, 6, 9, 12, 4, 8, 12. So 12 is your least common multiple with these. Okay, so we'd have to multiply this by 4 and this by 3. Or we could go 5 and 2. 5, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So either way, you can use the y's or the x's. You decide what you want to do, but what you're going to have to do is, if whatever you decide, so this one, if we're going to try to get to the least common multiple of 12, we're going to have to multiply to make sure that we get to 12. This one will be a -12, and this will be a +12. On this one, these are both positives. So you're going to have to decide, am I going to multiply this by -2 and this by +5 to get to 10 and -10? Or am I going to multiply this by +2 and this by -5 to get to the opposites? You decide, but what sounds easier to me is just to multiply these two, okay, cleanly. So that's what we'll do. So what you do is you put the entire equation in parentheses, okay? We're going to get to the least common multiple of -3 and 4, which is 12. So I'm going to multiply this by 4 and this by 3. Nice and clean. But you have to multiply everything inside the equation using distributive property. Okay? So, here we go. All right. So 4 times -3 is -12x. Okay, 4 times 5 is +20, y. And 4 times 7, 4 touchdowns, is 28 points. Okay, then we've got 3 times 4x, that's 12x. Okay, 3 times 2y is 6y. And then 3 times -18, okay? If you can't think of that and you don't have a calculator, okay, 3 times 10 is 30. 3 times 8 is 24. 30 plus 24 is 54. But it's a negative because we got that -8, so it's -54. All right? So now we're going to put those all together. Just act like you're adding them. -12 plus 12, nothing. 20 plus 6, 26y. Okay? And then we've got back, so you got -26. Okay? So divide by 26. Y equals -1. Okay? Now we're going to take either of these equations, or you can take either of these and plug in -1. So I'm just going to take 4 plus 2y. So I've got 4x plus 2 times -1 equals -18. So 4x equals 4x minus 2 equals -18. Let's add 2 to both sides. Okay, goes away. 4x equals -16. Divide by 4 both sides. X equals -4. So there you go, -4, -1. -4, -1, x, y. Don't get that twisted. So, first thing we have to do is take those original equations, let's plug in the numbers, see if it's verified. So we've got -3 times -4 plus 5 times -1 equals 7. Okay? So that's going to be 12 minus 5 equals 7. 7 equals 7. That's correct. Then we've got this one. 4 times -4 plus 2 times -1 equals -18. So I took this equation here, just plugged in -4, -1. So it's -16 minus 2 equals -18. -18 equals -18. Verified. So that's how you do it. So step one, arrange the equations so the common variables are lined up vertically in columns and the constants are alone on one side of the equation, right here. Okay, multiply one or both equations so that one of the variables, x or y, have coefficients that are opposites if necessary. So right here we multiplied by 4 and 3 to make sure the coefficients are opposites. You got to just do that if that's necessary. If it's not, you don't need to do it. Okay, then you add the columns together, all right? One variable should cancel out, which right here we had the x cancel out. Okay, solve for the remaining variable. So we solve for y, which was -1. Okay, substitute your solution into the original equations, which we did right here for verification. Okay, and we verified that the ordered pair that we have right here is our solution. So make sure you print out, or you can copy down the assignment. It won't be crazy long, but it's going to be enough work for you to make sure you get this. We want you to have, make sure you email me, Flipgrid me, whatever you need to do for questions. You ask me questions. I hope you guys are doing good. Hope you're staying safe, staying healthy, and go Boomers.